All right, all right. We are in Belmar today at our Grit Won't Quit studio, and we have a very special guest, someone that I've known for roughly 15 years, who's had multiple businesses, who is a true entrepreneur in every facet of the word. Today we have Dean Langella from QSR Supply. Good morning.
Good morning, Tom. Thanks for having me.
You got it. How are you today?
I'm doing well.
You found
I'm
it
doing
okay?
well. I did. I found it all right. Great studio.
How's the coffee?
The coffee's good.
Excellent.
The coffee's good.
We aim to please. And if you don't like our coffee, there's a bagel store next door that you can get yourself.
That's true. That's true.
Me not being a coffee drinker makes it hard for everybody else.
Yeah. No, I'm. It's coffee in the morning, and then we'll see what the day goes on from there.
You go.
Yeah.
So getting a little late in the day for doing anything else good. Playing golf today?
Not today. Oh. Not today.
You love golf.
I do. I enjoy it. It's fun. It gets you outdoor. Gets a little exercise in.
Do you walk or do you take the cart?
Of course I take the cart.
All right, good.
But I bought a really nice cart, a push cart. So
do you use that one?
No, it's like my gym membership. Both of those I bought, and I don't use any of it. So
fair. So let's get into it. So you've had businesses probably for 25 years now.
Yeah, absolutely. So
people don't think you're more than 30, but
that
lemonade stand when you were 5.
I aged well.
So you've been in this restaurant equipment business for as long as I've known you.
32 years.
32 years. Wow.
32 years. Yeah, I started when I was 18, delivering restaurant equipment and pressure washing used restaurant equipment. A gentleman who had went out on his own, started a small little business, and handed me the keys to a very large truck. Why he did that to me at 18 years old, I still have no idea. But my first day, I remember it like it was yesterday. Going into, he said, "Hey, rent a big truck, big 26-foot box truck." I probably wasn't even allowed to legally drive that truck, But,
absolutely.
Hey, I drove it, and he says, "Hey, we got to go to New York City." Now, granted, the only time I had been in New York City was probably with my parents seeing the tree, So
young kid from Brielle,
right? Yeah, exactly. Heading into New York City,
big city.
On the Bowery with a 26-foot straight job, picking up pizza ovens and all that.
I love it.
And then going. My first day, I think I worked till about 1 in the morning. Again, probably not legal at the time, but
you made it through.
I made it through. I learned, and I started from there, and kind of just kept growing in the industry, and kind of learning. It was exciting, Then
and your buddy Steve Doyle came along. Was working in the industry too, right?
Yeah, his father was a manufacturer's rep, so and we had worked at the same dealership in Asbury Park, and for quite some time together, and became really good friends. And from there, life happens, and things move on. But he's still a very, very good friend, or probably one of my best friends.
Yep, that's
if not
great.
my best friend. So great.
So then you had your own business. When I met you, you were.
2008.
Kenny Monroe, shout out to Ken Monroe from the Manalocan Market, introduced us. You went in there to go get a few items that you forgot because you're probably drinking. And I don't know how you got talking about marketing when you're late to a barbecue.
Yeah, it was funny. I do remember it well. We were a buddy of mine. It was Thanksgiving, and we had forgotten some things, so we had to run out to the grocery store for our wives, and we took a ride out, and of course had to stop and have a one and done, which turned into a two and done. But it was only 2, and then we realized that we actually forgot to go to the grocery store. So about halfway home, we saw that market, Manalocan
Marketplace,
and pulled in, and my tailgate had the name of our company at that time, which was DL Food Service Design at that time. And he had seen it and says, "Hey, you sell restaurant equipment. I'm looking for some deli cases and such." So that's kind of how the conversation had started. I did tell him, I was like, "Look," I said, "It's the holiday. I'll catch up with you next week." And then just in conversation with him the following week, he had said, I asked him what he had done, like, do you do radio? Do you do marketing? And at that time, we had some radio ads, 101.5
Yep.
or the Rad or something like that. And, and he says, he goes, I got to introduce you to my, this guy, Tom, blah, blah, blah. And that's kind of how, that's how we met.
Before long, I was at your office on Drum Point Road.
On Drum Point Road at that time, yeah. And then we grew from that one office to 2 offices to...
Remember you had the design studio over there?
Yeah, design studio, which was great. And the ribbon cutting ceremony and the advertising and marketing that Wingman. And now, I don't even remember if you were at that point even out of a building.
No. I was working. I had just moved to New Jersey. I had met Ken through Tom and Dahlia. And then I was doing work there. I was working from home.
Yeah.
I was living in Point Beach, and I was just working from home. At some point in time, back then, I said, I'm never going to have an office. I'm never going to have employees.
Sure.
I'm just going to be like a consultant and just go in, do my thing, get out. And even when we left Point Pleasant, I said to my wife, I said, hey, listen, Sam, we don't have offices, we don't have overhead. We'll buy a bigger house since we have to work out of it, rather than being in. She always thought I was loud. I don't get it, but I said, why don't we buy a little bit bigger house so we kind of have offices on different sides of the house? And that's when I moved into brick, because I was like, we're never going to have an office. And then I don't know, maybe we were there. Maybe a year and a half, and I was in Brielle. Then I had got the office in Brielle.
Yeah.
And then the office in Brielle, we outgrew. That's when we went to Manasquan. But I told her, she probably thinks I'm a little bit of a liar, because I said, we'll never have an office. I never have rent. I never have overhead. I never have expenses.
Yeah.
That's changed.
It's funny because our careers are similar that way. In 2008, the reason I went out on my own, the dealership that I was working for at that time out in Long Island, we were doing well, and we were bidding jobs in Atlantic City. Specifically, at that time, it was Rebel Casino, which is an Ocean Resort. Yeah. So things. It took a turn in the financial thing end of things in 2008. So I decided to go out on my own, and I told my employer at the time, I said, look, I'm going to stick down here. I have a couple little projects, nothing major, and we'll work on them. And then when things kick back up, but I said to my wife, I said, this will be great, a nice little consulting company, just really quiet. I can go golfing, I can have a life, whatever, do some real estate, the whole 9 yards, right? And sure enough, just things started taking off. And, fast forward a few years later, with QSR and Gentry, we're very similar. It was like, hey, we're just going to do a little design and consulting.
We don't know how to do something in little increments. We're all in.
Right, yeah. Well, that's
it's like my beer drinking skills. I don't go out for 1 or 2 beers. I'm going out for the night.
Right. I'm closing the deal.
Listen, that's why I don't drink a lot. Right. Because if I don't just, when the people go, I'm going to have 1 or 2 beers tonight. Sure. That never crossed my mind.
Right.
I'm going for the whole thing, or I'm going with 0.
I call ourselves serial entrepreneurs.
Exactly.
So you can never be. You always want to expand. You always want to look ahead.
But I think that's part of being an entrepreneur.
Sure.
I want to see it do better. I want to see our processes get better. I want to see our customers succeed more. I want our employees to be happier and better. Like that, to me, that's what it's about. So it's not that I have this burning desire to always work. It's just I always see that there's room for improvement.
Absolutely.
When you look at corporate, as long as you do your job and you do enough, no one's breaking your chops.
Right.
So there's really no incentive to get better. Wait, I could work more, not get any reward for it, and so I made a process better. Whereas in my world, when we make processes better, it makes our clients happier, it makes our employees happier, and the final product is better. So that's why I'm like that. So I don't think I would do. I haven't been in corporate in 15 years, but I don't think I would do well, because I want to make things better. I want to look at it and say, how could even there was something on our website the other day. Our website gets nice leads and nice traffic, and people are happy with it. But I said to one of my guys the other day, I go, look at this. We're only asking this specific question. I said it would be better if we had this and this. I said it would give us more intelligence, so that when we call the customer back, we have more information. It's those little things
you're always looking, right?
You got to tweak.
It's our website, the same thing. And granted, our first set of companies, which we had sold to a larger, national company in 2015, that was based on e-commerce. It was design build, but that particular brand, Restaurant Equipment Club, was more or less e-commerce based. But at that time the market was a little bit different. The largest competitor at that time wasn't even $1 billion company, and now they're close to $3 billion.
Those guys did a nice job on that.
Look, a lot of that market share has gone up, but there's a lot of people that they're one and done with those companies. They're like, it came in freight damage, or it's like, look, we don't sell boxes of shoes. We sell high-end, expensive pieces of equipment that aren't easy to maneuver, that
heavy.
I don't care what it is. We had a small delivery the other day of a small narrowed refrigerator or whatever, and sure enough, there's 5 stairs involved. It was at the end of the line. Everything else had to come out. So an average restaurant owner is not going to really want to, deal with that kind of stuff. But, when we were building, getting back to the entrepreneurship, when you're building a brand and you're building a company, you're thinking of a couple different things, not naturally scaling the business, but I also found out something very rewarding with our past company is our employees, and when you're hiring people, you're changing their lives. They're changing yours. You're changing them. So you want to invest in your employees. You really want them to succeed. And I think the best satisfaction outside of seeing the companies grow and become prosperous is also watching your employees grow from, I'll call it from kids to young adults to having families, and seeing them succeed in life as well. And you want to invest in your employees and keep them happy. So, fast forward now to this set of companies was the small design company and small, equipment and supply. It's something a little bit different, but naturally not e-commerce. So we're more kitchen equipment contractors.
Sure.
But it was from, we're just going to do this real small, use Regis offices, nothing major, just do, real relaxing. All we got to pay is ourselves, to now it's, office in Brick, New Jersey, an office in Orlando, Florida, an office in Northborough, Massachusetts, and quite, soon a few more locations as well. So apparently I can't sit still.
Yeah.
So, but I do enjoy watching the company grow, as long as we keep to our core, providing solutions and helping customers and restaurant owners, new and seasoned, with their challenges and help them with their needs.
And there's a lot of new tech coming out in your world.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I feel like every industry has tech, but yours has some tech where you could do some cooler things with less space and keep things fresher, longer. Are you're kind of at the forefront of that, and you're educating on that.
Yeah, and that's the thing, educating the customer. It's not just, I don't put ourselves in a restaurant supply.
Yep.
We're more kitchen equipment contractors, contract design. We're more solution oriented. So when we're building out or designing a restaurant, we want to educate them. We want to say, hey, look, remember that old way that you had all these fryers and charbroilers and griddles and stoves? Hey, look, let's work smarter, not harder. Let's use technology to not only improve efficiency and give you a better quality product, but also reduce your labor costs. And naturally, with labor right now, it's challenging.
But when you say that to a restaurant owner, they must be on board, because everybody's having a labor problem, and then the labor is expensive. And again, if restaurants tough because you bring on enough labor. But there are nights where you're slow, or
Sure.
Look at last night. There's a big storm at 6:00. That hurts.
Yeah, absolutely. Outdoor dining. I'm not sure how it was up here, but sure, you have a lot of outdoor dining, rooftop, restaurants, cafes that sit outside. That's it. That day is chalked off for them. They might, that window. It depends on when that storm comes in. They might that might be it for that night. Now, with anything,
tough.
with any business, you're always counting on that business to come in. Not to mention your employees are counting on that for their tips and and things like that. So yeah, I mean, it definitely hurts. But when you look at on the technology end, a lot of guys always talk about food costs and things like that, which are the obvious. Food costs, labor costs, this, that. But when you're if you teach them proper techniques of cook chill and to have them take that product and prep it in a way that they're minimizing their loss. And then your food cost now has essentially gone down. You're really maximizing the life out of that food cost, and you're also maximizing the profit that you're going to gain out of that. I remember years ago going into a place for consulting, and the guy had, I'll never forget it, he had like 4 white, like the residential freezers, right? And I right in a row, right in the kitchen. Not a commercial one, like residential ones. You get from
Best Buy, PC Richards.
Exactly, right? So I open it up and there's bags of chicken, stacked up. Some of them have frost on them. Some of them, George Washington, there's a good chance may have been around for that, right? So I said to the guy, I said, what is all this chicken? He goes, well, I got a good buy on it. I go, when'd you get a good buy on it? Last year? Did you buy chicken last week? Yeah, I bought fresh chicken. Well, are you holding this in case of a war? What is all this chicken? Not to mention, it's in the bags. So they're not practicing proper cook chill. Okay, so think of it this way. That's not a commercial freezer. It's not a blast freezer. It's a bag of wet, saturated. Right? Yeah, I know. Right.
I hope I never ate there.
By the way, I did walk out. I said, I think I'm the wrong guy for you.
Yeah, right.
So, but
I got a guy for you.
I got a guy for you. Yeah. So, but that chicken alone, that's in there. They cold. How long is it going to take for that freezer box to transfer the energy to get to the core of that chicken? I don't know. I'm going to go with a few days, by the time it starts to freeze from the outside to get in. So that means that product, depends on what temperature it went in there, was probably in the temperature danger zone for some time. Now we're going to try to defrost that bowling ball bag of chicken, okay? How long is that going to take? So, things like that, I'm not going to say the name of the restaurant. So, things like that, granted, that's an extreme. Most restaurant owners are normal and practice proper techniques. But on the cook chill thing, and using combi ovens and using speed ovens to rethermalize and understanding their menu and a solution on how we can help them really helps them out. Could end up taking that big hood and narrowing it down. Lessening. Look, I'm going to say it, lessening their carbon footprint, using electric energy instead of gas energy. Why is that big? Look, I'm not saying that I'm a conservation I drive a Dodge Ram. It's probably the worst truck for fuel conservation. But technology wise. When electric cooking equipment is actually a lot better than gas. So when you're starting to take a restaurant owner and get into that cook chill thing and really have them understand and have them cook and see and touch and feel, they start to understand and they say, wait a minute. And by the way, I call it PhD cooking, right? With a lot of these combi ovens and speed ovens, right? It's like push here dummy. Right, hit the button, go,
PhD,
right, go do something else. Come back. It's going to beep when it's done, and it's going to be perfectly cooked every single time or prepped. It's the best prep piece. Then your wings are going to come out better. You're par cooking them; they're going to come out better with a larger yield. Now, when you put them on a plate, the customer's like, "Wow, these are the biggest." You're not dehydrating them and drying them out to like a rabbit's foot. Well, all right. I'll digress with that one.
That's awesome, though. And I think that more and more people are seeing that value in that.
Sure.
And now, from a brand perspective, you've kind of, again, going all in and being you. You went from having one brand in brick to now having minimum 3 different locations.
Right.
And more to follow.
Correct.
And why do you feel that that's the way.
Business and growing your business. Look, we don't sell anything different than any other restaurant supply out there. You know, we just do things a little bit different. You know, we're more construction oriented, but having that brand is extremely important. You know, to grow your brand. Look, Apple, like we all use Apple phones, right? Or most of us, right?
I got an
Why
Apple.
why do they advertise? You know, do you see their advertising? I see it all the time.
Absolutely.
Why? They don't need to.
No.
No, it's Apple or Samsung, right? For the most part, you know. So why do they advertise? It's branding. It's like, hey, when I'm going there, I'm going to buy buy something. Samsung makes a phone. LG makes a phone. There's a lot of people that make phones.
Yep.
So, you know, instead of focusing, especially marketing, instead of focusing and marketing on your, you know, what you sell, okay, which is also a way, start marketing the brand as well and trying to get out there in as many territories as you can. That brings value to your company as well. So now your company is not just one location, it's a few locations, 5, 6, 7, 10, 15, 20. Now your company is not worth 20 million, okay? Now your company is worth 200 million, okay, and then to keep that growing. So, you know, the biggest core of that is your employees, is the people who are dedicated to running that office and to growing that office. So I think our model is a little bit different in the industry, where we're looking for really good talent to run offices. Guys that are seasoned industry people that may want to go out on their own and say, you know what, I'm sick of working for that big company. They're getting too big for what they do. You know, they're always buying another company. And, you know, and now it's constant, you know, oversight from management, looking, I want CRM, I want this update and that update. And look, I'm a big supporter of CRMs. So, but
You like the CRM.
I do. Look, we use HubSpot. I like it. I enjoy it. Some people are Salesforce, whatever. But, you know, you have to make it to the point where it's not overcomplicated, but that salesmen can use it, or, you know, dealer sales reps, whatever, can use it as a tool, but yet it's not bogging them down from their work. I mean, the last thing you want is them not to answer phone calls because they're logging in stuff on the CRM, and then of course they're going to go back to management and be like, "What would you like me to do? Go sell or enter the stuff into the CRM?"
There's like a balance,
right? So there's like a balance. I
love that everybody will. The first thing they go is, "Well, I had to do my entries in my CRM."
Right,
like,
right.
Let's get past that.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's a cup of coffee in the morning. You start your day. If you're an organized person, now granted, in our industry, it's chaotic all the time. But you know what? There's very rarely restaurant owners calling you at 9 o'clock in the morning. Well, I have a few of those guys, but you know, at 8 o'clock in the morning, if you start your day at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, you can get most of your day projected if you have good time management, and that's a good person, that's a good manager, and then that person can move forward. But yeah, I think that, you know, our business model is a little bit different, but growing the brand, I think, is
the way that you focus.
Yeah, because then it's like, okay, well, now they know the name, they know what we do. Now it's easy to go and say, hey, I'm going to trust this company. They have a trusted brand.
I like it.
So I think that's pretty good.
You read that in the Journal this morning?
No, I'll tell you, man. I was hearing what I was talking about, and I'm starting to believe it.
You're starting to sign up for it. Maybe you get the Boston location. So, I mean, so now this QSR has been in business how many years?
So essentially, the brand itself of QSR has been in business for now about a little over 2 years.
Yep.
Was formed. You know, we had Gentry Food Service Design Group as well, which is still in
hanging
business.
around.
Correct. And that we formed in 2019 just for design and consulting. That's it. You know, some design work, some consulting work, that little company that I was going to get. But we always had that idea of going to QSR. Why the name QSR,
Yeah.
Quick Service Restaurant, right? I knew that was going to be your next question. We were going to go after that market, after the QSR markets, you know, your Subways and those types of places, as opposed to, and fast casual as well. And we still kind of target that market a little bit. But with that said, we found that a lot of those chains, unless they're brand new, We have a few chains that we work with that are up and coming, and those are the ones that we want to get in with. You know, I'm not really interested in the ones that are already formed, 2,000, 1,500 locations or whatever. Not really interested. They're kind of set in their ways, and
They have their guy.
and they have their guy, or they have an in-house team that helps them out with that. I'm more interested in that guy who has, you know, a couple locations, or maybe he's got a really good idea, but he needs help on layout, design, consulting, and then making that happen moving forward to their second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth location.
Right.
Granted, you know, we've been very blessed with having a lot of customers with repeat business, helping them move forward, and helping them with solutions. I don't care if it's an ice machine issue, you know, different cubes, you know, and different sizing proper ice machines. We're helping them understand, you know, technology with speed ovens and combis and things like that. So just helping them out with solutions and being a true partner with them as opposed to a, you know, salesman. Right. That's it. Right. Yeah. I hate to say salespeople or whatever.
But that's true. I mean, if you're a good partner, you're there to help them build their business, to get their business to where they need to be. Because again, they know how to make a great recipe, but they don't know the back end, some of the offerings that you can offer to make the kitchen run smoother.
Right. Yeah. No, I'll tell you, it's rewarding, and you know, when you see that you've helped them with a solution, and get them up and running, and they're happy, and they're saying, "Wow, you know what? I've been buying ice for the past." You know, every week.
That's crazy.
I know. And it's common. They just, because whoever had sold them that machine, or maybe they bought it online. That's the one disadvantage.
You don't know.
A lot of these manufacturers, I said, you're not doing yourself any justice by selling it online, because if there is an issue, you know, and which there's gonna be. Okay, maybe that person specified the wrong piece of equipment. Maybe they didn't understand what they were buying.
But also,
you know?
sometimes maybe for growth too, you don't know.
Right.
Like, oh, I'm going to be doing this many, you know, meals a night. Like,
right.
If that number goes up, you could, you know, you put outdoor seating in. Did anybody think of that when they were thinking about the ice machine?
Correct. Right. Sizing it right, you know, and understanding that business. Are you closed Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and you're on nightclub that's only Friday, Saturday, and Sunday? Well, then you could do a really large bin and manufacture all week long, you know, to get you through that, you know. Or is it something that, hey, you need ice every single day, you know?
Definitely.
Hey, just, you know, and sizing it up and saying, how many ice bins do you have? How many bars do you have? How many cocktail stations? Well, add up how much ice that is in the morning. You could have 900 pounds gone like that before you even open. You're going into battle with no ice. You know, or just what you have in the bin.
That's tough. So when I go to a restaurant, they give me 3 cubes. That's why.
That's probably why, right? And look at the cube too. If it's the one that you could buy in the bag that they already ran out of ice, you know, they had to run over to Wawa and grab a couple bags to get them through to limp through. So
that's funny.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this was a great chat. I love that you came on. I love that we finally got you down to the Belmar office. You're usually a Manasquan guy. But very informative, and I love what you're doing for your customers and what you're doing to grow the business. I think that you have a great trajectory ahead, and hopefully another successful exit.
No, I appreciate the time. You've always been, Wingman has been a tremendous partner for us, you know, dating back to 2008, 2010, somewhere's in there. All the peaks and valleys that we've been through, you guys have been tremendous, and
Awesome.
we look forward to our continued partnership with you guys.
Sounds great. Let people know where they could find you online. You better know your website.
Yeah, I do know my website. It's easy. It's qsrsupply.com. And from there, you can get those social media links from there that I'll never remember.
Perfect.
It's probably Facebook / QSR Supply.
I can't wait till you start doing TikToks and some more reels and stories on your social.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to that. Some more podcasts, being informative about the equipment that's out on the market, and coming up with solutions for customers, and kind of giving them a virtual demo.
Awesome. Sounds great. It was great to see you today. Thanks for coming on.
Great, Tom. Thank you very much.
It was awesome. Thanks.
All right, guys.